It's amazing how many times I've had ideas while being interviewed for things like this.
Wilmot Works It Out is a chill puzzle game where you play as a little fella called Wilmot. He likes to unwind from his job by putting together puzzles at home. So they get delivered and you unpack these deliveries with a load of bits in them and you fit them together and you're making a bunch of beautiful pictures which you then hang up on your wall. And then over time you get access to more rooms in Wilmot's house and you get to decorate them and hang the pictures up. And it's the next game in the Wilmot's Warehouse franchise. Hello, I'm Ricky Haggett. I'm a game designer. I'm the creative director of Hollow Ponds.
I'm Richard Hogg. I'm a game designer and I'm a visual artist. And we're here today to talk about Wilmot Works It Out. This game is kind of a sequel. We made a game about 5 years ago which we called Wilmot's Warehouse. It's the same character, but he's at work. And Wilmot's job is to organise the inventory in a warehouse, which I know sounds really exciting. But it's a really sort of colourful, fun game. And it's all down to the player where they put the stuff in the warehouse. We wanted to make another game with Wilmot. And we had this idea to use exactly the same character and the same mechanic. But instead of organising a warehouse, he's making puzzles, making picture puzzles.
Another part of the Wilmot cinematic universe is that there's now a board game. Working with CMYK and Shut Up and Sit Down, we announced this. Available for order now. It's a co-op memory game which has a lot of overlapping art with Wilmot's Warehouse.
Sometimes Ricky sends me a parcel that's just a jigsaw where he's taken it out of the box, and I get the delight of making a jigsaw puzzle but without knowing what the picture's going to be until it's finished. It's definitely more relaxing. You're not wasting time looking at this image on the box constantly. Anyway, yeah, that's definitely an inspiration for this game, is that sense of like revealing a thing and going, that's what it is, as you make a puzzle.
Yeah, there are lots of people who love Wilmot's Warehouse and who sort of talk about how like relaxing and like how like important like way to chill out it was for them when they played it. So we were keen to make another game, but we didn't want to make just a direct sequel.
The game was relatively successful, so the opportunity to make another one was kind of there.
In this game, you're doing puzzles, right? And they're pictures. But a thing that starts to happen relatively quickly is that you start getting leftover pieces after completing a puzzle. Like the box that had the pieces in it had some extra bits, and those extra bits maybe looked quite a lot suspiciously like one of the pictures that you were making, but they don't fit quite, and that's because they're for another jigsaw puzzle. So there's lots of like aha moments of like, I thought this was this, but actually it turns out it's this completely different thing from this other jigsaw that's like big added to over time. It's quite sneaky. It's such a nice feeling.
That is actually something you never get with like real jigsaws, and I think there is a sense in which an aha moment is something that's unique to games, in the sense that it's like working a thing out, solving a thing, and it's part of what's fun about making games, is having things that are like hidden things or secret things. Interestingly, the previous game, Wilmot's Warehouse, has what I like to call emergent puzzles, in the sense that most of the things that make that game difficult are the player themselves making a mess, whereas this game is much more authored, because I'm drawing these pictures, and as I'm drawing them I'm going, if I make the snowflakes in this one look like the stars in this one, then when these get delivered people won't know the difference, and then that'll be fun when they figure that out. Well, the first game has a sort of a backstory, but it's very low-key. Ever so slight sort of black humour in the first game, where Wilmot gets performance stars and he gets like morale-boosting posters and he gets little pep talks from his boss, and that very simple storyline does go somewhere if you play the game to the end. And then with this game, Wilmot's at home, all these puzzles are being delivered to him by a postal worker, and there's a relationship there between Wilmot and that person, and that relationship develops, and something happens whereby that relationship kind of crosses over with things that are happening in the puzzles in a way that we probably wouldn't reveal at this point.
I think also you get to see a lot of Wilmot's house. You get to see what Wilmot's bathroom's like. You get to see what he's got in his bedroom.
We get to choose what he's got in his bedroom from a kind of library of plausible and perhaps implausible things that he might put in his bedroom. People who've never played either, when Wilmot Works It Out comes out, they should play them both together and they should alternate.
Yeah, that's
so
brilliant.
Wilmot's at work for a day and then he's at home and then he's at work. That would be really good.
Yeah.
We should even make like a special like...
a launcher that does that for you.
Yeah.
That's a great idea.
Some of the puzzles are like homages to things. I've only made one so far that's a homage to another game, and I hope that the people that made that game see that, because it'll hopefully make them laugh. I guess that's an Easter egg, and there's a couple of other things a little bit like that.
Yeah, 2 games I think are broadly in this sort of category of relaxing, arranging things. There's Unpacking and A Little to the Left. They're not the same mechanically at all, but I think that they occupy the same sort of headspace.
Wishlist on Steam, find us at Gamescom and hopefully play the demo, and check out the previous game, Wilmot's Warehouse, if you haven't already seen that, and pre-order the board game as well, if you can.
Can you now just do all that again, Dick, but properly?